Greetings. Today I will talk about the Dutch establishment of New Netherlands, which later became New York. The first wave of Dutch settlers departed for the New Netherlands on March the 29th, 1624. Until 1624, Dutch exploration of the New World consisted mainly of trading missions, not colonization. Before getting started, I would encourage you to subscribe to the Mossy Feet Books YouTube channel for more great content. If you like my videos, please hit the like button. The more likes I get, the more YouTube will show it to other people, allowing me to grow the channel. I also entreat you to visit my website, www.mossyfeetbooks.com. There you will find sample chapters, podcasts, a slew of content, and links to where you can buy my books. While visiting the website, you can subscribe to it and receive email notifications when I publish a new book or other content like this video and podcast. This episode is based on my book, Colonial American History Stories, 1215 through 1665. After Hudson's brief foray into the Hudson Bay in 1609, the next Dutchman to enter the bay was merchant Arnout Vogels, who went on a secret mission to the Hudson Bay in 1611. His success on that trip caused him to make two more trips in 1612 and 1613. These trips he did not keep secret, resulting in competition from other merchants seeking to cash in. The Netherlands formed the New Netherlands Company on October the 11th, 1614, which received a 3-year monopoly from New Netherlands government to establish a trading post. This post proved successful. However, they did not get a renewal of monopoly, and they abandoned the post. The Dutch decided they needed a permanent presence in the area to ward off threats from the Spanish, French, and English. Thus, they created the Dutch West India Company in 1621. The Dutch West India Company received a 24-year monopoly for trade in the area. However, to plant a colony would require provincial recognition from the government. It did not receive this recognition until mid-1623. By March 29, 1624, the company had organized an expedition consisting of 30 families. These new settlers were mostly Flemish. They departed New Amsterdam on the New Netherland under the command of Captain Cornelius Jacobs. They arrived off the coast of New World sometime in early May. In contrast to the English, French, and Spanish settlers, these new arrivals spread out over a wider area. Some settled at the Connecticut River's mouth, others on Burlington Island in present-day Delaware, while others landed on Nut Island. Another contingent traveled up the Hudson to present-day Albany to settle. The ship arrived back in Amsterdam in October carrying a cargo of 500 otter skins, 1,500 beavers, and some other items traded from the natives. A captain reported that the new settlers had made good relations with the natives and all was in order. The settlement around the current New York City by the Dutch began in 1614 with the establishment of New Netherlands. The Dutch West India Company founded the colony to establish fur trading connections with the Native American tribes. On March the 4th, 1626, Peter Minuit arrived in New Amsterdam. He would replace the unpopular William Verhulst as governor of the colony. The States General of the Dutch Republic established the Dutch West India Company in 1621, and they got granted a 24-year charter. This charter gave it exclusive trade rights for the Caribbean West Indies, West Africa, and eastern part of New Guinea. Peter Minuit lived from about 1594 until August 5, 1638. Like many historical figures from this period, knowledge of Peter Minuit's early life is sketchy. Historians feel that he was a French or a Walloon ancestry. His family lived in Doornik, Henegouwen, that is in the southern Netherlands. They moved to Wessel, Germany, and after the Spanish took over the area. They supposedly fled to escape the Spanish Inquisition because the family had become Protestant. He wed Gertrude Rates on August the 20th, 1613. But Peter became a broker, probably of diamonds, around this time. Historians speculate that his wife, who belonged to a wealthy family, helped him get into that line of work. In 1625, he left Wessel and returned to Holland. Around that time, he joined the Dutch East India Company. They sent him to New Netherlands to explore trade commodities other than fur to trade in the New World. Sometime in May 1626, Dutch Governor Peter Minuit bought Manhattan Island for $24 in trinkets from the Carnacy tribe. The Kansas tribe is also known as the Lenape or Delaware Indians. The Lenape occupied mountain lands around the Delaware River. Their territory also included portions of the area that are now New York City. The United States government removed them after the passage of the Indian Removal Law Act in 1830. The main portions of the tribe now live in Ontario, Canada, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, and are some in Indiana. According to historical accounts, Minuet dealt with Lenape Saces. The colony of New Amsterdam had struggled to attract settlers and had grown slowly before the Minuet arrived. He felt he needed to legitimize the Dutch presence on Manhattan Island. Thus, he arranged with a meeting with the Lenape Sachem to purchase the island. After the purchase, Minuet established a colony on the southern tip of the island and built a fort to protect it. Minuet actually dealt with the wrong tribe. A closely related tribe, the Wappinger, actually controlled the island. It is likely the natives and the Dutch had entirely different notions of what the deal accomplished. The Dutch idea of ownership was quite similar to our modern conceptions of real estate ownership. The Native Americans had much different conceptions of land. To the Indians, water, air, and land were universal and cannot be owned by any one person. They probably accepted the merchandise and considered that they had just agreed to allow the European to use the land. As of the date and terms of the deal, historians speculate about exactly what the Dutch traded. Some accounts say that it was mostly trinkets like beads and like merchandise. Minuet struck similar deals later that included duffel cloth, iron kettles, axe heads, hoes, wampum, drilling owls, and other items. This merchandise was of immense value to the Amerindians. It is likely that the deal from Manhattan included some of this as well, though no one knows for sure. The Dutch estimated the value of the merchandise at the time at about 60 guilders. Modern estimates for this sum in current be probably $2,025 would be several $1,000s. In addition, the Lenape probably felt that the deal included the Dutch being potential allies. The colony continued to grow slowly until the English captured it in 1664 and renamed it New York. This episode is based on my book, Colonial American History Stories, 1215 through 1664, available on the website www.mossyfeetbooks.com. The book is the first in the book in the 6-volume Timeline of United States History series. Discover some of the famous and almost forgotten stories of American history. The story begins with the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215 and the beginnings of the concept of limited government, and ends, for now, with the beginning of the American Revolution in 1775. The articles in the book have much more detail, as well as articles not included in this podcast series. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and thank you for listening.